this was it. My first introduction to gaming. I mean, the dreary night sky, the bat symbol in the back. Come on. How could this not be a fantastic intro into what would be a lifelong passion for me?
Joker has been apprehended. Batman is now en route to Arkham Island.
The urgency of the Batmobile as it speeds down the street. I was so enthralled by it when I first opened this game and I first played it. Going to Arkham, a place I'd never heard of before. I mean, for me, this was my first intro into Batman mythos. My first time actually meeting the character. Boy, did I pick a good way to start. Getting my first few looks at Batman and the maniacal Joker. I mean, for me, this was groundbreaking. The visuals, I thought this was real life as a kid. And here we are, inside the Asylum. A place that just so happens to be filled with Gotham's most deranged and insane criminals. Fucking brilliant idea by the city, if you ask me. Over a decade ago, I walked these hollowed halls for the very first time. It doesn't really seem that far away. I mean, I walked into it not really knowing how much this game would not only change my personal life, obviously. I was 5 years old at the time, but also changed my whole perspective on how gaming worked, truly. Because before this, my only forte in gaming was a Leapster Explorer with the X-Men, where I just kind of ran around and spelled words. To me, this was completely foreign. The idea that this game didn't have to involve any actual constructive learning, like how to use words. It amazed me as a kid. I mean, I know it's a pretty big jump from a Leapster Explorer to an Xbox 360, but I loved it. And I fell in love with this game, especially getting to play it now that I'm older and I really understand how to actually play the game. It's quite wonderful, actually. But, yeah, the Joker always creeped my ass out as a kid. It's just the way he looked, and that elongated chin just never looked right throughout the entire game. I used to make fun of it with my little brother, because shit used to scare me. You know, I think now is probably a pretty good time, while we're just walking through the asylum, to discuss how great and how wonderful the voice acting was. Both from Mark Hamill and from R.I.P. to the legend Kevin Conroy. I mean, I grew up listening to these guys, and this is my first forte into Batman, so for me, Kevin Conroy has and will always be my voice of Batman in the animated universe. I just want to give a shout out to both of them for doing such a wonderful job with this game, and to the rest of the voice acting crew and talent that just put their heart and soul into everything for this.
Can you smell the excitement in the air?
And here we meet probably one of the coolest iterations of Killer Croc, I'd say, in most media. I think he looks completely menacing, just the way he towers over Batman. And just look at how hard it is for the elevator to get him upstairs, just to be looked at like some kind of freak. Quite the scare for the younger me, considering I lived in an area with a shit ton of crocodiles, and to know he was a man-eating one. Boy, did my uncle razz the hell out of me with this one, telling me there was a killer croc living in my backyard. Oh boy.
I've got your scent, Batman. I will hunt you down. A toy collar won't stop me from killing you, Batman. And rip you apart. Eat your bones.
That reminds me, I really need to get me some meat.
Okay, move up.
I always liked this elevator ride sequence, and I always loved the idea of hiding a loading screen behind something physical you're doing in the world. Whether it's taking the elevator in this game or taking the elevators in Mass Effect, like listening to your companion's dialogue as you go down. It was always a fun way of hiding these loading screens.
Don't you think it's a little bit funny how
And yet, this is where it all starts to unravel. You kind of start to be able to piece together why the Joker let himself be captured so easily.
I thought I told you to stay quiet.
All his talk about why his boys were moved here. Quite interesting.
Yours shut. It'll get you into trouble.
Tell me something. You've never let me catch you this easily. What are you really after?
Oh, nothing much. Hundreds dying in pain and fear. All their meaningless lives brought to a horrifying conclusion. All thanks to you and a book of matches. Was that the answer you wanted?
All patients should avoid contact with prisoners from Blackgate Prison Facility. Empress
What's he doing? Stay where you are. Get a flashlight.
One of my second favorite part of this game, the combat. The flow system was actually one of the most innovative systems at the time, and it was my first combat system ever. But it's kind of been iterated upon and iterated to death, yet I still love it and I can't get enough of it. Whether it's Batman, Spider-Man, hell, even the Avengers took some of Batman's combat into account when making their game. But in all honesty, when I first got my hands on the controller and I started to fight, my uncle should have taken that controller away quick. Because boy, did I suck. Yet, there's always more to these games than just the combat. I mean, this game taught me to look outside the box and to kind of look around the environment. Because I ended up finding this odd, strange green trophy inside of a grate. Kept me guessing for a little while, but we'll speak on that later.
You're not going anywhere I don't want you to. Understand?
If you think I'll let you run...
Always for the heroes!
Here we are, walking through the asylum. It was always quite unsettling. The music, the lights that always seem to have this sort of hum to them, a shine.
Escaped custody.
Not to mention the constant, incessant talking by the Joker over the loudspeakers,
Commissioner Gordon
or
is
that
safe.
damn chime
Joker's not
that's
far ahead.
burned
We'll
into
stay in
everybody's
contact.
mind who's ever played this game. Not to mention Quincy Sharp always telling you to take your meds on time. It was always so strange. And next up, we meet Zsasz, one of my personal favorite Batman villains. Dude is an insane maniac who carves a scar on himself every time he kills somebody. He's covered in scars. That don't tell you he belongs in the asylum? I don't know what else does.
Stop! He's done nothing to you. Let him go. Zsasz has got my buddy. He's gonna fry him. Do something, please.
Keep him occupied. I need to get behind him.
This little scene right here is kind of a great introduction into using the glide mechanics and the gargoyle. It's unfortunate that really throughout the game there's only a few sections where you have to remain unseen, and then it's never really returned in any of the other Arkham games following this one.
Zsasz is down, but not for long. Got to get...
Someone put this animal back in his cell.
And with Zsasz taken care of, I figured we'd take a quick look at the character bios. First at Harleen Quinzel, better known as Harley Quinn, everybody's favorite clown princess of crime. I figured we'd take a look at a few other bios while we were here, all the ones that you unlock up to this point in the story. And, you know, people like Zsasz, Jim Gordon, some of Batman's allies, Oracle at some point, the Riddler, and Alfred. Although I don't think he's in this bio, I just mention him because everybody loves Alfred.
Warning,
Younger me didn't really understand why Batman had to be in conflict with the Joker until we hit this scene right here.
Listen,
I mean, you all know he's a reprehensible villain, but at the time, I wasn't completely sold. But after seeing this, the way he just gassed a bunch of innocent workers and killed them, even I understood that at the time. Ah, the greats. Everybody loves the greats.
This isn't a simple escape attempt. Joker's been planning this.
There's another part of the game that really opened my eyes. It was the fact that you're out here saving prison guards in a game mainly with
You're gonna be fine.
combat in
Stay
it.
here.
Ignore the fact that I failed to save him originally. We went back for him though.
Batman's here.
I mean,
Hold on a little longer.
I
Steve.
found this part to be very unique and not in a ton of superhero games, at least from around that time period now that I've gone back and played them.
The extraction
Hell,
system.
Batman showed me that even you have to save the people that don't really deserve it, like this Joker goon over here. It really opened my eyes to the kind of hero Batman was, and how he was about saving all lives, because to him, everybody's life had value, even the Joker's. And here's the very first boss fight of the game. It's a quite special one in my opinion, but even 14 years later, I still say I'd like to blame it on my controller, but in all honesty, it's probably more of a skill issue than anything else. Thankfully, if your health gets too low, the boss just dies by itself. It's to help new players like me.
Well, that was unexpected, wasn't it? Oh, well.
And here we go. A well-deserved upgrade. Upgrades, upgrades, upgrades. I've come to love and sometimes loathe them in video games, but it was a nice, clean introduction to them using this system. And I like the idea of hiding some upgrades for the future time and not just showing them all once.
What's going on?
And now for my personal favorite part of this game, the stealth. For me, stealth has always been my cup of tea in gaming. I like the idea that I can sneak into a compound full of dudes, take them all out one by one or in groups, and disappear like a shadow, like I was never even there. I'm far better at this than I am anything else. And I'm glad this game was the one to spark my love for stealth games, being it so good in the stealth department in general.
Even tell her. Why bother? It'd be a nice surprise for her.
I'm gonna do it.
Did you really think it was...
Now, this was truly the moment the game took a turn for me and I felt fear. I mean, the image of Boyle still rolls around in my
Joker must have
head
figured out how
to
I'm
this
tracking
day.
Gordon. Officer Ball's trail stops here.
That was strange. Anyways, and here we have everybody's favorite intellectual genius, Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler. I mean, even after 14 years and 3 games by Rocksteady and 1 by WB Montreal, I still hate this guy.
Ready for your first one? Good. But be careful. Don't.
I'd like to take the time to mention that I took 6 or 7 minutes to figure this out as a kid, and by golly, I was an idiot. I was just stupid.
So you did it. Well done. I would have expected a child to work that one out, let alone the world's greatest detective.
We apologize for this interruption to our regular broadcast. Jack Ryder is live from the Gotham Bay Area with some breaking news. This is Jack Ryder with breaking news.
Seriously though, who puts human-sized grates inside of these places? Like, is that not a hazard for, oh, I don't know, the mentally insane patients to escape out of, who probably have a low regard for their life? And this right here, This was the moment my 5-year-old brain was blown, realizing this was just the beginning. I just wanted to take a moment and thank everybody for watching this video. Really appreciate it. I know my name is a little intimidating, a little hard to say maybe. So let's just go with V for now. And I'm out. Peace.